Yeah. Brick and Banter Podcast. I'm Ethan Burke, Irongate Realtors. Today I got with me
Thomas Underwood. I'm with Hanna Real Estate Services.
We met how many years ago?
Oh, geez, it's been about almost 4 now.
Right?
Time flies, huh?
It's been a minute. Is that when you started, or did you come from another company?
No, I started then. It was tough. It was tough sledding, starting in an area that I hadn't lived in. So I had to develop new contacts and networking, and that took a little bit of time. But it's finally starting to pay off, and we've got some momentum now. Becoming a partner with another realtor really helps a lot, because not only it increases your network, it also gives you some flexibility. So if I have something going on, or if I'm on vacation, I have somebody to take care of business for me while I'm gone, and vice versa.
I ran into that problem. I took my first cruise ever.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
We went to Dominican Republic, Virgin Islands, just around that area.
Oh, that's a beautiful area.
It was amazing. But of course, middle of the cruise, I'm in the middle of the ocean. I get a call from somebody who wants to go see a house. Of course. So I had to scramble last minute to try to find somebody from the company who could go and show it. And I ended up finding somebody that worked out, but yeah, having a backup would be really
Having
nice.
a backup is nice. It's really nice. And as you know, it can become very expensive, advertising and things.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have somebody to split those costs with too.
Yeah. Feel free not to answer this because it's a money question, but do you guys split pretty much anything either of you say, or do you all keep your own
Everything's
stuff?
50-50. All the expenses and all the commissions. And it always has been. And we don't have a formal agreement. We just did it on a handshake, and it works out fine.
Nice.
The trust is the biggest thing.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can't trust who you're working with, then...
Yeah, that doesn't work out very well. And there's, just from some of the people we both know, it's hard to find trustworthy people.
Yeah. People do some wild stuff.
Greed usually kicks in.
Yeah. Those people don't stick in this business very long, though.
I hope that's true.
There's people who get into this. I always say, people think sometimes we're like used car salesmen. That's really the worst kind of personality to have if you're a real estate agent, because you're not you're not trying to force people into a situation where they have to buy something so you can make a paycheck, because then everyone's going to get mad at you. You're going to get sued. Nothing good comes from it. But if you're out there actually trying to help people, then your name gets out there. People realize you're doing a good job. They send more people your way.
Exactly. You kind of have to let the clients move at their own pace, especially some of the clients that we deal with, because we like dealing with older clients who are either downsizing or transitioning to a different kind of living arrangement. And you can't push them. I mean, they have to be able to make the decision and be comfortable with the decision.
Yeah.
The old saying, we provide, they decide. And we give them as much information as we can for all of our clients, whether they're seniors downsizing or first-time home buyers. We provide a lot of, just like you do, we provide them a lot of tools and a lot of information, and answer questions that they might have to help guide them along the way. We're kind of their roadmap to get them through the process, and to help them with some of the difficult issues that come up or can come up when buying a real estate.
Yeah. I was an EMT for a few years, and I dealt with a lot of nursing homes and people in nursing homes. And I talked to a bunch of people who were going to and from the hospital, and they all kind of had the same story about moving into a nursing home, that they were really afraid to move in there and give up some of the freedoms they have in their own house. But once they get in there, they're around people their own age who all have the same interests, who all like the same old movies. They love it once they get in there.
Yeah, they do. But it is scary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's scary. I mean, I try to put myself in their shoes. If I'm going to leave my house, I mean, it's an irrevocable decision for the most part. So
yeah. Once the house is gone, it's gone.
Yeah. The downside is I have a client now that I've been working with for about a little over about a year and a half, and they were an elderly couple. And I followed up with them, and I get really attached to these people. It's part of the problem, too. And so I'd go visit them. And I went to visit this couple, and they're in Kettering. I went to visit them in January, and I was getting the sniffles. And I said, look, I'm coming down with something I'm going to stay with. Because she was 90, 92, and he was 88. I mean, you would never know it. I mean, they were very, very active.
Yeah.
So then she asked me if I could get them, because they had been to the doctor. And the doctor says, you know, if you guys get sick, it could be fatal, and yada, yada. One thing led to another, and I really didn't feel comfortable going back and seeing them until about a month ago. Maybe it's June. It was in April.
Yeah.
And she had passed away.
Oh, that sucks.
She got sick, and very short illness, and passed away. Oh, I was there in time for her memorial service.
That's kind of serendipitous. I mean, I'm sure you'd feel horrible if you showed up with the sniffles and then she got sick and died.
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't get...
no, I know, but like, you know, if she was going to get sick either way, there's no way for you to know if you gave it to her or not. It's a good thing that you weren't there. Now you know for a fact you had nothing to do with it.
That's true. That's true.
That would drive me nuts.
And I had already met one of their children. So at the memorial service, it wasn't like the first time I'd met any of them.
Yeah.
So he's still doing fine, but you know, it's just a matter of time. He told me, and he told his kids. He said, "When you're ready to sell a house, there's a guy that's going to do it. Make sure he sells it." And it kind of makes you feel awkward, you know, because I go to see him basically because I like him. Yeah, but. So it's kind of strange. I'm not sure how deep I'm going to dive into that end of the pool because of the mixed emotions I get out of it. But I like helping them, and I like helping them downsize and giving them advice and providing resources for them. But as we do for all of our clients. Have you been working with a lot of investors lately?
So I only worked with one investor recently. Price they had was a little bit higher than I recommended. We couldn't quite get it rented out, so they just had me sell it for them. So I did that. But I think in the future they're going to come back and look for something.
Oh, cool. Do you remember I had an investor back when we were working together, and we looked and looked and looked and looked and looked, and she finally found a place that she wanted to put an offer in on. And we did. And like 2 days before the inspection period began, she called me and asked if she could back out. And I said, sure, why? She said, well, something's come up and I just need to wait. So I said, sure. So we backed out, and I got her money back, her earnest money back.
That's surprising.
Fortunately. Because there wasn't any reason to back out. She just didn't. Yeah. She had a personal reason for doing it.
Personal reasons, not contractual reasons.
Right. Yeah. She had a personal reason for doing it. Well, since then, she came back. I guess it was about the first of the year. I've sold her 2 places.
Nice. Both investment properties?
Yeah, 2 investment properties. She got one on Salem Avenue, and she's got one on Wayne Avenue. A real nice one on Wayne Avenue. She got her sister investing.
Nice.
Her sister was working with me, and I offloaded that one to Greta. And we're closing on one of her places this coming week, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Nice.
And she's got another sister who wants to buy stuff. So you know, nice. It just kind of all, it's kind of karma, you know?
It really all snowballs.
Yeah.
Do a good job for one person, they tell a bunch of people that you do a good job. Those people do it.
Yeah. And they lean on, you know, and they lean on you for advice. I mean, she's an experienced investor, and she's asking me my opinion on different things. And sometimes I give her an opinion whether she asks for it or not. But they appreciate like the financial insight we can give them on the property values and rental rates and things like that. So all the things that you taught me.
Do you have any investment properties yourself yet?
No. I don't really have a lot of runway, I think, for that. I'd be buying them for somebody else, which a lot of people do. I mean, they're figuring this is going to be the inheritance I leave to my kids, but I just don't have an appetite for it. I did have one at one time. I had a really, really nice 3-flat, 3-level house, generational house in Lakewood, Ohio. But it was such a pain. And I was living in Columbus, and it's in Lakewood, so it was just kind of a pain.
How far is that drive? How far is the drive from Lakewood?
Oh, it's to it's just west of Cleveland. It's a Cleveland bedroom community.
Gotcha.
It's a great community.
Yeah.
But
that's far if you're managing it yourself.
Yeah, and I didn't have the knowledge or the resources to. I mean, it would have been great if I could have expanded it. I didn't have the resources or the knowledge, or quite frankly, the ability at that time to expand it because I was traveling a lot. What else have you got going on?
Closing on one today, helping out a buddy of mine. It's kind of funny. So the majority of the clients that I have helped outside of like my immediate friend group have been from the jiu-jitsu school I go to.
Oh, that's what you said. Yeah.
Like I sponsor them, and I know everybody there. They all know that I'm like a genuine person. I know that they're all cool people, and I probably helped like 7 or 8 of them buy houses.
That's good.
It's great, and they're all awesome to work with.
Well, it's funny how things kind of fall into place too, because once you gain your client's trust, everything is easier.
So how are you guys getting new clients? I know Greta's doing a bunch with the VA.
It's all personal contact. We do festivals.
Yeah.
We've had some luck there. We've pared back on some of the festivals, trial and error. Some of the festivals that we felt, were successful, we're going to keep with those. And quite frankly, it's much better sitting at an open house. Greta's active in the Rotary and some of these other activities. She's cutting back on some because it was taking too much of her time.
Yeah.
She's joined the Chamber of Commerce in Beaver Creek. I'm going to be attending the chamber meetings in Powell. I'm looking at joining a B&I group too.
B&Is are hard to get into as a realtor.
They're very hard to get into as a realtor. But I think you got to get one that's just getting ready to get started, because realtors, they're the first spot to get filled, and somebody's got to die before you can get in there.
When I first started, that was really all I did was like networking groups.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get in with the B&I because they all had real estate agents, so I don't know if they'd be more lucrative. But I got into some of the smaller groups that you can get into, and I had no luck with it at all. I was going to groups like 3-4 times a week, talking to everybody, doing one-on-ones, talking to people. Got 0 clients out of it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of nice people, a lot of cool contacts to give out to other people.
But not a lot of consistency either, though. A B&I group, the nice thing about B&I group is, the bad thing is there's no openings. The good thing is that's because everybody stays there and they reciprocate. I've had people tell you, nobody's going to leave a group because they're making so much money in that group.
If it works out, let me know. I might start looking
I will.
About here. I just got such a bad taste in my mouth from the other groups that I just quit looking at them.
Well, and some of the other groups, the ones you're referring to, I looked into those too, and I didn't like them. It was almost like a drop-in kind of group.
Yeah.
Where these are kind of they're like clubs. A B&I group is like you have to be invited to one of their meetings.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
By the way, if you meet any cool people in there who want to be on a podcast.
I will.
One of my managers was talking to me about some scammers that have been pulling a thing recently. What they'll be doing is taking pictures from someone's active listing, and then they'll put it on like Facebook Marketplace or TikTok, where it says, "Oh, this house is for rent," for like half of what it should cost, but you're going to have to like mail me a rent check or wire me money, and then you can move in.
No kidding.
And then these people show up with a U-Haul or something in front of this house ready to move in, and they just got scammed and they have nowhere to go.
Well, you got to be careful renting property too, even if it's legitimately rented. Greta rented a property for someone that she'd been renting properties for quite a while. It was almost like a tent city inside the apartment, so he got rid of them. But don't know how that worked for those dudes out of Chicago. Maybe they sublet it or something. I don't know, but all the guy could do is give the people from Chicago their money back. So, and evict.
You don't know if they were like homeless people who were squatting in there, or if the other people had sublet it to them.
They were squatting, but they had a key. So they were given access.
Interesting.
I don't know how the financial thing worked out, but
they're probably just collecting cash from them for some reason.
Probably.
That's something shady.
Probably. Took advantage of them.
Yeah.
Took advantage of everybody.
Yeah. There was an incredibly interesting show. I wish I could find out like what network it's on now, but it was called "If You Can't Pay, We'll Take It Away." It was about like real estate and repossession stuff, but over in England, how they do it.
Really?
And it's very different than how we do it here. Like the show was almost completely about real estate. There was like one episode where they took a car, but the real estate stuff is fascinating.
Wow.
So over there, their laws are completely different.
Oh, bad.
They have something called the high court. They have their normal court system that works how ours does, pretty much. And then they have the high court system. It's just above that. They can do whatever they want, whatever they want.
Really?
So if you have like an eviction issue here where someone's in your house and they're squatting, and you go to the court and go through the eviction paperwork, it takes a while for someone to get out there to get them out. You can get that eviction paperwork and just say, well, instead of waiting this 30 days because I just went to court, I'm going to go to the high court instead, have them kick them out now. Like no notice, no nothing, legitimately. They will send an agent out to their house that day and be like, hey, get out. Like no notice, they could have kids, they have their stuff, nothing's boxed up, nothing. They're just like, get out. And the wildest thing, like if no one's home, they'll just break in.
Wow.
Like it is the most nut stuff. Like if they turn their back for a second, they can literally slip into their house and they don't have to leave. Like the cops can just walk in.
Wow. That is amazing.
It's nuts. And then the best part about all this is the person who like was squatting there now has to pay the high court to kick them out of the house. Like the fee goes to them. It's insane.
That's kind of the opposite of here, because here tenants have more rights than the owners do.
In some states, for sure. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So
I would never buy a house in one of those states, ever.
God. Can you imagine what it's like out west?
I ain't playing with it. No way. That's insane to me.
But I don't know. You know, we always thought listing was the way to go, because when you have buyers, you do a lot of driving around, a lot of looking, and
a lot of legwork.
But what we kind of feel now is that you have a lot more loyalty with a buyer client than you do a listing client. The listing clients are too emotional. They have their own ideas about things.
Yeah.
And they don't listen to reason very well in a lot of cases because of that. But buyers really look up to you for advice, guidance, and they value the help that you give them.
Yeah.
Where I'm not sure that's true of clients that you have their listings for.
Yeah.
But it's almost like they think the house is going to sell itself. I tell them, some of the clients, we work hard. We spend a lot of time and effort to get these clients to come in here. They don't just show up because they got a sign in the yard.
What I found out is it's I call it the 20 grand rule. Any seller seems to think their house is worth 20 grand more than it's worth, and every buyer seems to think that house should be sold for 20 grand less than it's worth.
That's probably true.
Like if there's a $100,000 house, those buyers are like, let's offer them 80, and then the seller's like, let's list it at 120. And then there's always that middle ground where they meet, and then the buyer, once they have the house, okay, well, now it's time to list. Let's put it up at 120.
That's right.
Every time. It's so bizarre.
That's right.
I remember I was helping a group of people. It was this big family that always brought like all of their friends and relatives to see every single solitary house. And we'd walk into a house that was like 300,000. They'd be like, let's offer them 230. Like, I'm not even going to bother writing that. Like, I will because I have to, but like, what's the point?
That's right. That's insulting them.
Yeah. And you know, if they were living there, they'd want like 60 grand more than the house is worth. It's always like that.
Well, and the thing is, it's not like you just take a look at the picture and say, okay, I'll show you this house. When they're ready to put an offer in, it's not like you haven't done a comparative analysis to make sure it's priced where it should be or priced where it could be, and give them advice for the offer. Most houses are priced pretty well.
Yeah. If you have an agent.
Not all of them, but you got to check them. Not all of them, but most of them are priced reasonably well. And of course, the market changes too. So depending on how long it's been on the market, but
Yeah.
I haven't had a lot of variances on houses that I've had buyers looking at.
Yeah, if it's listed by another real estate agent, they usually do a pretty decent job. I've found anytime there's like a for sale by owner kind of situation, that price could be anywhere.
It could be anywhere.
They base
exactly.
it based on how they feel like the houses should cost, or what the house should cost.
Well, yeah, you know what they do. Zillow's your best friend.
Oh, God.
Zillow's your best friend or your worst enemy. They don't understand how that any of that works.
Yeah.
So you're fighting that battle as well. Well, you know, my neighbor down the street, they sold their house for X. Well, is it exactly the same as yours?
Yeah.
Is the lot the same? I mean, there've got to be differences.
Yeah. Even if it's a new construction, the houses are right next to each other with the same layout, they're still not identical houses.
No, they're not. There's going to be differences there.
Especially if they've been sitting there 20, 30 years. One person maintained it, one person didn't. The house is different now.
That's right. A lot different. Some have been updated, some haven't.
Yeah.
Some have a lot of carpeting, some have solid surface floors, things like that.
I remember there was one house. I was sitting down for a listing appointment, and this person was helping, I think it was his friend or his brother or somebody. And the person who owned the house was out in California. So they have California prices in mind. They wanted to list their house for some specific price. And this is a listing appointment. I know they're interviewing other real estate agents. I did my best to come up with an exact price of what this should be. There were houses that sold right next to it that were really, really similar. I knew what that house should sell for. I go in there and he's like, well, he wants to sell it for $100,000 more than that. Like, that won't happen. But I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You will never get that. I can show you there's a house we can see from your porch that is bigger and better than this one that's like $20,000 more than what I'm trying to tell you to sell this one for. This one's never going to sell for that. Then they're going with somebody else. Like, all right, cool. Sounds like I saved myself a headache.
Yeah, it sounds like you did. I wonder how many price drops it had to go through.
Until it got down to my price, I'm sure. I guarantee it didn't sell for $100,000 more.
Jesus.
Yeah, folks out there, when we make prices, we do it based on the comparative sales of similar properties near you. We don't base it on how we feel about it. We know what we're doing.
It's not emotional for us. None of it is. That's why we can be impartial, because we have no emotional ties to any of the real estate. We are data-driven and we are analytical. And we analyze the market, we analyze what the properties in the general area are selling for and where this house would fit price-wise in that market. We don't have a specific price, we have a range. And we say, okay, this house would sell for this range, from a low number to a higher number, and where it fits in that range is based on comparables that we look at in the area. A really, really good property, it's going to be higher in the range than a property that's not as well maintained. Now, there are exceptions. There are properties that are drastically flawed, and you don't know it till you get inside it.
Yeah.
Those are a different discussion altogether from a pricing standpoint. And then you have the other extreme, you have the cream puff, which are few and far between, but there are some where it could generate a lot of interest, a lot of activity, and sell for a lot more than any of the homes in that range, simply because it's unique in that it is so perfect. A cream puff is just an absolute pristine property with no flaws whatsoever. But those, like I said, those are few and far between. I've never ran into one.
Yeah. No. Well, there was one. It was a really expensive house. I think it was like $500,000 or $600,000. The person who worked there, I don't know what they did, but it had something to do with like the extreme end of that like handyman, like construction.
Oh, okay.
What's the word I'm looking for? Just job category. So he could build a house from scratch if he wanted to, and he was maintaining his house to just an extreme pristine level. It was the only time I've ever had a home inspection. They come out and they say, there's almost nothing. Like there's a little crack in the driveway, like there's a dent in the garage door. Like that's the most they could come up with.
Wow.
I was like, that's awesome. It was one of the few ones where he didn't put anything on the defect notice. He was just like, we're good.
Wow.
And doing this about 5 years, it's the only one I've ever seen.
And then sometimes you get surprises too. I had one where I thought it would sell for the top of the range, close to the top of the range. It went on the market, and within 2 days, we got an offer for $20,000. I'm sorry, $10,000 more than what I had it priced at. So that put it above the range, really.
Yeah.
It wasn't a cream puff, but it put it above the range. And it was driven that way because somebody wanted to live in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
They wanted to live in that house, in that neighborhood, and they were willing to make sure they got that house. They did no inspections.
Yeah.
They did everything they could think of to make their offer compelling. And of course, they bought the house.
Yeah.
That's another way it can get.
Yeah.
You can get to the point where you're beyond what you thought it would sell for, but the market tells you what it's worth.
Yeah.
And that was a market-driven. Well, it really wasn't a market-driven. It was more of an emotional-driven decision by the buyer. Yeah. Yeah. He had friends that lived in that, childhood friends that lived in that neighborhood, and he just wanted to live there, and he made sure he did.
Yeah. Yeah, some people have an extreme emotional reaction to get into a specific neighborhood, and that'll drive the price up for stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as like average people selling an average house, there's really nothing we can do to find those people. You just scratched a lottery ticket and won. It is what it is.
No, but what it did was it skewed the perception of some of the neighbors.
Yeah.
Because the neighbor across kitty corner wanted Greta and I to list their house, and we looked at it, and we gave them what we thought it'd sell for, and they didn't want nothing to do with that, because they looked at the other one, and they weren't even close in terms of quality. And the one that we didn't get, he had added on to the house in some kind of a strange way, and it was just a bizarre layout, and it was strange all the way around. And I don't know if they ever did sell it. If they did, I don't know for how much.
Yeah. I remember I was showing a house in Yellow Springs, and it looked like it was one of those houses that it started out here, and then when they got some money, they added on an addition, got a little bit of money, added on an addition, but they didn't do a great job of adding on the additions, so it was just like random extra rooms.
That's kind of the way this was.
Yeah.
And there was no continuity. It was just, the layout was awful.
What's been the most interesting house you've sold so far?
The most interesting house. It is a 2-bedroom apartment below and 3 efficiencies above. So that was pretty interesting. It's a huge house. It looked like a scene from Hoarders in the basement. And the attic, you could get to the attic without going into a unit. You just go up the stairs to the upper units, but there was a door that take you up to the attic. That was full of stuff.
Oof.
I guess it's interesting in that the tenants that lived there. Well, when we were told ahead of time, there was a leak upstairs 2 years ago, and the ceiling, part of the ceiling fell down. And it was still laying on the floor.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
The maintenance guy, the one who was showing us around, said, yeah. I think he probably had some kind of emotional problem, because he said, he got a call from this guy. The maintenance guy said he got a call from the tenant. Hey, my toilet's not working and it's full. Can you come fix it? He said, well, I don't know if he could come right away or not. I said, well, if you don't get here pretty soon, I'm going to start using the bathtub.
Huh.
So the maintenance guy got there, and the maintenance crew was out of Hamilton, so it wasn't like around the corner. You had the plan come up here. Well, all that happened was the chain came off the plunger. All he had to do was hook the chain back up, and the toilet would have flushed. But he didn't even look at that. He didn't even do anything. It was just bad.
Always been a fan of multifamily. Quadplex is like my dream. That's some good money right there.
It is. Have you looked at any? Because I've looked at some.
I looked at duplexes back in the day, and those were like at the top or almost out of my price range, so I didn't even bother to look at the quadplexes.
We've looked at some quads that would have probably been in your price range. Under 300. 200, they're closer to 200, 250, something like that.
I think at the time, around like 150, maybe 170 was like the top I was looking at. Just because investment properties, you have to put way more down. It's way more expensive to get into.
Have I got a deal for you? I think I can get you a lender that'll only require 20%.
Well, yeah, 20% is what I was talking about. 20% is a lot of money. $100,000 house, 20% is 20 grand.
It is, but it's better than 25.
Yeah.
You have a lender are you going through private investors?
So far, I've only gone for my investment property. I only got one so far, and I went through cross-country mortgage with Lindsay.
And they did it for less than 20%?
No, I think they did it for, I think it was a bit over 20% because we did the DSCR loan.
Oh, yeah. It was a construction loan?
No, the DSCR is one that's just income of the property base, so they don't have to look at your W-2s at all.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, as long as the property makes enough income to cover the mortgage payment and you put down the 20, 25%, whatever, you can buy it. They don't care like
good.
What your income statement looks like, doesn't matter.
Oh, good.
Yeah, perfect for like real estate agents who write off a bunch of their write off a bunch of their income, or people who make most of their money in tips, things like that.
Yeah.
But it only works for investment properties. But great program. DSCR, what does it stand for? I used to know it off the top of my head when I was doing it a bunch. Debt service coverage ratio loans.
Debt service covered ratio loans.
Yeah. Lindsay, cross country mortgage, she's got them. A bunch of other people have them too, but she helped me out. She did great. I like having a good network of people over these years that I know do a good job who I can refer. I've run into some really...
Absolutely. You get some good ones, and you get some that aren't quite so good. I always am kind of leery of a lender that doesn't understand the language.
Yes.
And doesn't make me feel like they understand what our contracts are. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be a mortgage lender, you better know. You don't have to be well versed in our contracts, but you better understand them at least at a working level. So when we give you a critical date list, you understand what those milestones mean.
Yeah.
And when we say, well, we need clear to close, we're going to close on June 30th, and we need clear to close 3 days before that. When that 3 days gets here, the 27th of June gets here, we don't want you scratching your head saying, well, no, it's with underwriting. It's with underwriting. No. we gave you these critical dates when we signed the contract, and you should be following this and pushing it and making sure it's on track. You can't get clear to close if something's in underwriting.
I think it was the second house I ever sold. I didn't know the ins and outs of it that I do now. I didn't realize that a big part of my job is making sure other people do their job, even if it's their only job.
That's right.
So it was the second house ever. And the first one I did, everyone did their job. The lender did their job, title company did their job. I didn't have to check on anybody. I didn't know I was supposed to. Second house, very, very different story. They wanted to use, I'm not going to say the name of the bank, but they wanted to use a bank out of Columbus for some reason for a closing in Dayton. I was like, whatever, that's who they banked with. They moved down here from them, whatever. We're under contract. We're supposed to close in 30 days. I think about halfway through that, inspection's done. We got all that sorted. I'm just like, all right, cool. We're just waiting for the closing. And then it's like a week before closing, I get a call from the seller's agent like, hey, are you guys going to do the appraisal or what? I'm like, what are you talking about? The appraisal's not done yet? Oh yeah, they haven't even ordered it yet. A week before closing, we find this out because I was brand new and I didn't know any better. Now I'm on that like a hawk. Yeah, this person, they just didn't do their job. They just didn't feel like doing it. So I called them. They're like, oh yeah, we have that ordered. And that was the day they ordered it. They just lied to me and said they had it done already. So they supposedly order it. We get it back. Long story short, this person ended up delaying the closing a full month because the lender just didn't feel like doing their job. Oh yeah, I will never ever have that happen again. They were dodging my calls. It got to the point where I was calling them every 5 minutes because they were just like muting me.
Worthless.
The seller's agent was calling them. My buyer was calling them. That's what it took for them to get them to do their job. Nowadays, I would never have let that happen. If they weren't giving me the right answers right away, I'd have been like, we need to switch lenders now.
Oh, and that's what intent to proceed means.
Yeah. You had any hard lessons from when you first started to now?
I think the hardest lesson is, it's changed a little bit since I started too. When I do an exclusive now with an investor, because of Stanley, remember I ran him all over the place? He ended up buying a place in Columbus with another realtor.
Oh, that's right, because you had the document set to only be in Dayton, something like that?
No, I didn't have it set to just be in Dayton, but the brokerage wouldn't back me on it. So I would make it very clear that, I'm your agent. If you need something someplace else, you need to contact me and I'll take care of it. Basically, that agent either conveniently didn't ask if he was represented, or he lied and said he wasn't.
Either one's pretty plausible.
Yeah. So, but that's big. That's the biggest lesson. Everything else has just been learning curve kind of stuff. You kind of pick things up. I mean, just like anything else, you learn through trial and error too.
Yeah.
I think the biggest lesson, to answer your question probably better, is all the things that we were told to do to generate leads is pretty much BS, is in my opinion. I've spent thousands of dollars doing things that were not productive at all.
Same.
And what I found that works is meeting people face to face. This direct mail, forget it. This farming, you got to be kidding me. Now, if you want to go around knocking on doors, I think that would be fine, but that takes a lot of time and a lot of shoe leather. And I've done that. I've done that within the past year. Places where I've sold a house, I'll go back and canvass the neighborhood somewhat. But it takes so long. I mean, I was lucky to hit 30 houses a day because of, going up and going around and talking to them. And then you got to be careful because a couple of them, I didn't see the no solicitation sign because just wasn't prominent. And I said, well, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. It was Karen. I didn't see your sign until just now, so I'm leaving. But I have permits. I mean, I have permits, but
yeah.
They'll tell you if you have don't.
You don't want to bother.
And no solicitation trumps a permit. Yeah, you don't want to bother anybody. If they don't want to talk to you, why even bother?
Yeah, save both your time.
Yeah. But yeah, I've learned that, and we don't spend money on anything.
Yeah.
We have a few little handouts that we give. Towards the end of the year, we'll buy calendars, really cool calendars. You put your business card on. We hand those out to certain people. Probably everybody in our CRM would send them to. But that's about it. We have little notebooks that we hand out at the festivals to people that are interested in talking to us. We don't just hand them out. If we can draw them in and talk to them, then we'll give them one of those. We were even using lottery tickets as an incentive. Hey, you want a chance to get a lottery ticket? And if they give us their information, then maybe we give them a lottery ticket. But in most cases, we do ask them, you want to know what your house might sell for? Want a free property review, that kind of thing. Things that would have value to somebody if they're interested in possibly selling their house. And I've done that. I've done some residential property reviews from people at the festivals who really probably weren't ready to sell, but they were interested in what their house was worth.
Yeah,
that's okay. At least I got in front of them.
Yeah.
Think about all the money that I threw away on stuff we were told to do, advised to do, and I felt like all I was doing was advertising the brokerage.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a big thing that some brokerages try to do, get you to do whatever it is they're trying to push you to do to spend your money, really because they're just getting a cut of it.
I think so.
There's a couple that I won't do ever again. I'm not going to say the name of the aggregator site, but it's one of the big ones. Their logo's blue. They're ridiculously expensive to buy leads from. To get an area like Beaver Creek, it was some sort of crazy amount. It was like $10,000, something nuts a month. It was just Looney Tunes. So whatever, I'm new, I need to advertise some way, I've heard this is a good idea, I'll find something. There was some small area where I was paying them I don't remember, but it ended up being $1,000, $2,000 just in the trash to buy leads from that area.
Oh yeah.
It was just nonsense.
Well, then people try to get you to buy these through some of these outfits that'll sell you a zip code, exclusive
Yeah, that's
zip
what it
code.
was. Yeah.
Well, if it's so good, why are you telling me about it? Why aren't you just doing it? Well, I am. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now, I think some people probably have success with that.
Yeah, people do it. I'm sure somebody out there it's working for them.
Yeah, but it's not a universal fix for everybody.
Hey, we've been talking about an hour. How do people find you?
Oh, you can find me at underwoodcosta.com or through Thomas Underwood at howardhanna.com, or you can call me at 614-499-9872, and I'll be happy to help you. You can find my business partner's contact information on the website as well. She serves the Dayton area, the Dayton market. I'm serving the Columbus market. Her name is Greta Costa at howardhanna.com. Her phone number you'll have to look up because I don't have it memorized, but it's on underwoodcosta.com as well. We hope to see you soon, and we're happy to work with you.
Perfect. I'll put all that information in the description below the video.
Okay.
Any other subjects you want to touch on before we call it?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Hey, man. Appreciate you coming out.
Thank you. Thanks, Ethan. It's good to see you again.
It's good to have you back. You were the first person I ever had out here to test the studio with.
Oh, really? I like it. It's nice.